Judy Fitzgerald was appointed Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities in 2016. She has been with DBHDD since 2012, previously serving in the roles of Chief of Staff and Deputy Commissioner. She is a social worker with a career-long focus on behavioral health and public service delivery systems.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am so pleased to join you live for Substance Abuse Prevention Advocacy Day. I can see by the agenda the presence of Superintendent Woods. It's great to hear from him that you all are well prepared for impact, even in a virtual environment. So that's really impressive. So I want to start out this morning by saying thank you, first of all, to the Voices for Prevention leaders. And Carmen, thank you for the inspirational comments this morning to get us started. I also want to thank the DBHDD team. Donna, I know Erin is on the line, Nakia, I see members of our field office with us, and I want to thank you all. The prevention work has been tireless throughout the pandemic. And I love that the energy now you bring to say, we've got to do more. We've got to continue our advocacy. So I appreciate all of you. And I just recognize that throughout the pandemic, there's really been an important focus on treatment and on recovery. But what I love about getting together with our prevention folks is that you all remind us of a higher goal. You guys are the ones asking the questions. What if we could avoid the tragic outcomes and the depressing statistics? So it's really important to acknowledge what's been happening during the pandemic, right? The strain that we've experienced, the increase in emergency department visits for overdoses, and concerns about anxiety and depression. Together, we've been experiencing trauma at an individual level and a collective level. The isolation, the social unrest, and the economic challenges, all of these are very real. This is why what you do is so important. So one of the things I have to say I love about the prevention community is the diversity of who comes to the table to do prevention work. I see that you have young people who are really passionate about raising awareness, about inspiring, and talking to their peers. Nobody is going to make a connection like youth can with youth. So I love that there are so many young people engaged in this movement. There are others, though, my peers, many of you, I see some names of folks who I know have been hard at work in prevention for years, maybe even decades now. And you have been talking about prevention and resiliency before it was cool. But you're right, Carmen, it's cool now to be talking about prevention. I think that this message is more powerful than ever. We now have the evidence to show that prevention is a smart investment and that we can equip people with the tools and the skills to combat trauma, even in the most difficult of times. So really this morning, I want to thank you for your passion, your persistence, your desire to educate and raise awareness about all aspects of substance use. You all are such important fighters in really what is the biggest battle ahead. We need your voices more than ever. So I see that you've recruited some champions. I know you're going to be hearing from Senator Kirkpatrick, as well as Chair Sharon Cooper. You are finding ways to advocate with all the right people. I know you're also going to hear from one of the most passionate and vocal advocates in the state, Attorney General Carr. And what this makes me feel like being on the line here with all of you this morning is we are in this together. And I am so proud to lift up your voices and watch you all lift up a message of prevention for our fellow Georgians. It's more important than ever. So it's my pleasure to introduce really one of our most important champions in the state. And you know him well as a husband, father, businessman, and public servant who cares deeply about children and families. He's been working hard throughout the pandemic. We now have the optimism of vaccines. He works closely with First Lady Kemp. And I know personally that they are so supportive of believing in access to mental health and substance use services and recognizing the earlier we begin to raise awareness about these issues, the better off we are as a state. They also know that your local efforts matter. So we're going to have this state level conversation, but you all are talking to your local legislators. You're making it happen on the ground. And I do think that Governor Kemp is well aware of how action happens, and it is on the ground in our local communities. I am really pleased to introduce Governor Brian P. Kemp. He is a proud family man, and he is well aware of the challenges we're facing, and he's got a message for you this morning. So very happy to introduce Governor Kemp and his commitment to advocacy for substance use. Thank you all. Great to see you this morning.